So we're going to go into carpet care. The carpet care business, the carpet equipment, the chemical is really a shrinking market. It probably represents less than 3% of the equipment being sold. And probably in the last couple of years, it's probably taken a step back. I'm told, 5-6% under the numbers from 2019. So today, we're going to talk about a couple of machines. And this is just the interim guy, right? This is your mini spotter, a small 3-gallon, 50 PSI pump, and really designed for doing some detailing. We're using this one system that a lot of people use for car detailing. But I see a lot of these in hotels, hospitality, golf course. It's a small extractor to deal with spotting issues. Because at the end of the day, a carpet needs that attention. Somebody spills coffee, grease. This is the type of units that you're going to use in your library, in your showroom, in your restaurant, just to clean clean those chairs again. Have you ever cleaned chairs? As you extract them and you look at the water, it's always brown or black. People are going to expect the cleaning standard in 2021 and 22 and so on and so forth. All these restaurants, all of these fast food are going to have to do a lot more spot cleaning on soft surface carpet care. So little mini, nice handle. It's got these rollerblade system. Nice maneuverability. Easy hand tool system for detailing. Protect your investment, because people today don't do carpet extraction every year. It's like floor stripping. People try to do it every 2-3 years. Where today, the carpet's clean. Nobody's going to notice it. And you know what they do? I've seen this do, and I'm sure there's customer on the line. My friendly mop has left the room, but I'm just going to go grab it. In the old days, people didn't have time to do the carpet, so they would, put this and then really, do this on the floor and just pick up the residues, the top residue, and really make the floor look clean. We're ditching that mop again. So your mini spotter, interim cleaning, prolong the life. It's a 3-gallon, 50 PSI. That vacuum will absorb, remove that chemical. Your cars, your chairs in the restaurant, in the hallways, in the hospitality market. That's where I see a lot of those being sold, or in certain clinics, also just to prolong and remove any of the residues. Nursing home also for, you use the biobac and then you spray with water and remove the biobac and some of the organic that you get in those nursing homes. So a great interim extraction product with our Eco Expert or biobac or Oxy DST. Those are all products that I really love in that piece of equipment. And biobac, at the end of the day, is a carpet cleaner, is a floor cleaner, is a washroom cleaner, and deals with malodor counteractant. So Eco logo. So that's the way we're going slowly. The biochemistry will be taking over. So you can use this in your auto scrubbers or in your extraction system. So a quick view of the mini. And then we have what we call the contractor, the workhorse, what people look for. So we have the 12-gallon, 500 PSI adjustable. This machine really comes, sold separately, but the hose, it's 30-foot hose, heavy duty, 1.5-inch hose connected. And then you've got your, I'm going to run this because this has 2 motors. Your manual extraction, the self-containing units are slowly being phased out. There's more and more of these types of machines, especially with the specialists, the contract cleaner. People go out there and do cleaning over the weekend. They'll do the whole building, they'll do the whole floor. But this is the type of machine that has two motors, so a lot of suction, and then an adjustable pump, so you can go from 100 psi to 500 psi. I call this the machine for the professional, the commercial professional, the people that are out there doing carpet all the time. It's a workhorse, rotationally molded, accessibility, fans, your drain system, and your plug that comes with the unit. And the 50 or 35 or 30 foot 1.5 hose. It is also available with 100 psi, meaning the same body, but no adjustable pump, smaller pump, 100 psi. And then you would get lighter tools, such as this guy here, the 2-jet, smaller. And then you've got the Haida hose type of system. So, this guy has a heavy duty hose for pressure. When you see a clear one, that's 100 psi. You cannot run a 500 psi. So if you're buying this machine, make sure you buy the complete tool kits that are designed for the 500 psi, because this guy could blow as the pressure is coming through. So it could expand and blow, and we want to make sure that there's no issues. So 500 psi, commercial, professional, workhorse. The other guy is the same, but the 100 psi, not as much suction because it doesn't require. PSI is really the pressure going into the carpet, lifting the soil, bringing it to the surface, again, with the right chemistry. I always use these machines with water, because in the past, most people have been using way too much soap, way too much disinfectant, because there's people spraying disinfectant on their carpet to kill the bacteria and the viruses and the fungi. You need to extract them. So water, to me, is the best solution, and it's green. If you need solution, the Eco Expert, it's neutral. One other thing with all of our equipment today, it's room temperature water. You don't put boiling water. There's no heater, because the heater were really designed to keep the solution warm when we were using strong chemistry. Today, the solvent, like stripper, the extraction product need to use in a cold room environment, because that's when they go into the carpet, they break the surface tension, and you really extract them after. So 2 platform, a regular platform, I call them light commercial, and then your heavy duty commercial industrial for people, contract cleaners. People specialize in that. They go in and do this in offices over the weekend, and they'll extract your carpet, your chairs. You'll see a lot of contract cleaners owning these, and these are our biggest customers, as a matter of fact. Where a school board or a city or a recreational hall will buy the 100 psi for interim cleaning. Then you go into your mini spotter. We see a lot of activity this year right now, because a lot of people are looking to get their detailing done on their carpet, on their chairs in the offices. So there's a bit of activity surrounding the pandemic cleaning, after people are going to be, or before people come back to work. So few interesting pieces at Dustbane. Again, with the right solution, the right piece of equipment will get you great cleaning result. So we're going to move into vacuum cleaners. Oh, perfect. The producer. So I'm going to walk from over here to over here. So we have our tracker. Did you know that in North America, most, take this right over here in the camera, most carpet are cleaned with uprights. In the US, I'm going to say 85% would be an upright or backpack. In Canada, it's probably more like 15 to 20%. We have a nice vacuum that has a HEPA-like filter that has a paper bag, and that's got a lot of suction. And really, it is a commercial type vacuum. I'm gonna quickly plug it in here. Got a lot of power also. You might as well go in front of here, Rachel, in the post there in front. So we've got our bag, we've got our HEPA-like filter. And this thing has a lot of power. And you notice how easy it is to operate. When I lift it, the brush stops working. And then you've got your extension. Then I can reach into areas, right? Onboard tool. The bag inside the filter. And you know, the bag is a 2-ply bag, so it recuperates all of that fine dust. Your HEPA filter will pick up at 0.03 micron, 99.7%. So as your air is being filtered, very easy to close, easy to open. We've got on-off switch. We have a light when the bag's full, a nice yellow cord, and an extendable wand with a safety mechanism if it's blocked. And again here, you know, an air vent to unplug your hose. I go back under here. We're looking at a metal bar, not a wood bar, with things that can be removed and refill instead of buying a new bar. Some people, you know, view these things as expensive, but they're all serviceable. And you can access the unit, pull the cover, and then you've got your belts over here. So accessibility is nice. Performance curve is high. And I gotta say, this tracker is made for us. And I gotta say, it's not made on site, it's made to our specification. It's got that CUL certification, so certified for the Canadian market. HEPA-like paper bag, very powerful. Probably got close to 80 inches of water lift, created by the belt motor and that creates that suction. I would say in 2019, 2020, probably if you look at the vacuum floor care, 40% of what we sell. So it's in Canada, this tracker system is gaining market share at a very competitive price, easy to store, gets the job done, but commercial, right? It can take that market abuse. And as you turn it on, it doesn't require much. It really very easy to operate. And your tools are on board. So the upright business is gaining market share in Canada. And I'll tell you why, because less and less vacuums are being sold in North America. We have more and more upright customer and also, you know, a lot of people look at upright as easy to store, easy to operate. But then we go into what we've been famous from back in the 60s, we created vacuum cleaner because we used to own modern building cleaning. That's today has become many, many other branches, contract cleaners, independent guy that started their business. The Power Clean series. So that was vacuums. We were making our own vacuums. Today we have our own Targa series. So, but we've gone from the PC 50, 51, and then 20 years ago, really molded our vacuum. Just a bit of history here. 20 years ago, when we did Power Clean PC 50, it took us a week to make 25 vacuums and 5 people to machine all the parts. 20 years ago, when we redesigned to the Targa, we can make 25 vacuum a day with one person and not having to machine many small parts to construct that vacuum. No welding, no painting. What an environmental footprint. You know, when we decided to do our own triax system, we bought the mold. It's a mirror image mold and rotationally tank. We took back 20 years ago that sustainable footprint. And, you know, we're very proud of that in the evolution to be competitive in the marketplace also made it unique. So in our offering, we've got our 330. I'm going to call it a 3-gallon. We've got this flexible hose, this flip-flop tool, so it goes on carpet or on hard floor, and the adjustable wand. So if you're Rachel or Mark, you need a different length for vacuuming, right? So again, great performance curve. Where do we see 330s? Well, I see them in retail. I see them in hospitality. I see them in areas where you want to be vacuuming quickly. You know, 3-gallon is a small. We use, you know, paper bags inside, or you can use the dry filter. Paper bag being the clean air system. And these were really designed for the Targa series. Goes in, seals itself, but that's also, you know, part of the air quality. See, I'm trying to rip this and I can't. So it's not just paper. I'm gonna rip it and I'm gonna show you the importance of that paper bag. So here's this very strong paper, and there's your filtering device. And this material here filters the air. So that is part of the performance curve. That's part of that benefit. So when you're vacuuming with Targas, you're not sending any bacteria, any particle back in the air. With the filter, the clean air filter, and the jogger ring, that is the standard. And then adding the paper filter inside the tank. And sometimes in a lot of buildings today, they want the HEPA-like filter. That is also part of the vacuum cleaner. So we use a universal motor. So again, service parts on all of our offering for vacuum, like the auto scrubber, very similar. You don't have to stock that many parts. We have a yellow cord, hospital grade cord. You know, the dry cage for dry only. We're using a motor that's gonna give you close to 100-inch of water lift. You know, depending on the tools, it'll vary from 100 to 109. Triax material, rotationally molded tank. I probably got people on the screen who want to know if I'm going to jump on it or throw it in the air, but not today. Our hose, 1.5 inch on the 330. We do reduce it to 1.25 inch for the smaller tools. So you can use a flip-flop. Many contractors love that carpet tool that we have. Again, really designed here for areas. And that's my favorite tool. because you can really, and it floats on the carpet as you're using. So all the tools are sold separately. So the one I'm running right now is your tool kit number 4. And I had the tool kit number 1 on the units. So you have the choice. We have nice shepherd style caster. And, one of the unique feature of our offering is still that hose. And I'm gonna have Rachel hold a hose here. And I'm gonna twist it, right? I'm gonna say, Rachel, pull, come on. Jeez. And I'm gonna let it go so Rachel doesn't hurt herself, but that hose comes back all the time. So crush-proof hose, the slinky doesn't break. So that's the commercial type hose that we're using. There's a lot of inexpensive vacuum out there. We design our vacuum to last. Our vac motors, the universal motor, will run up to 17 to 2300 hours before you need to replace it.
Does the front mount squeegee system fit all Targa models?
No, the front mounted squeegee would only fit on the 18XL or the PC3. And we'll quickly touch on it because this guy doesn't have any areas to mount it on it. But that was a good question. So the 330, this is a very, what I call industrial-like vacuum. It's got all of these long-lasting feature, easy to service. You don't service that. You own it for 10 years, maybe 12, you replace the vacuum motor. You may replace the hose because somebody decided to splice it, or somebody ran over the electrical cord. If you clean the filter and you keep your inside of the tank clean, there's no dust that really will affect your vacuum motor. That is a bearing motor. So long-lasting motor in the unit. We call it universal motors. We use wet and dry motors. Wet meaning you can pick up wet solution, humidity. Dry meaning you're only picking up soil. 330, 3-gallon, toolkit number 1, toolkit number 4. We launched this vacuum, my friend, the DB3 here, and that is the hospitality market. This is the entry-level vacuum. This is a vacuum that really got me excited because it's made of recycled plastic. Over 75% of this vacuum is made from bottles. The bottles that are going in the ocean are now being used to build plastic component. We're using the same type of plastic to do our drums for the 100 kilos and 125 kilos of Dustbane. This vacuum, like our floor pads, are really bottles that are coming from recycling plants, and we're using the resin to build those vacuums. So very light, very portable, onboard tools. This vacuum here is slowly going to become the standard vacuum. You're going to see more and more of these sold in Canada. These big industrial guys are still, but we need to understand that costing eventually becomes an issue. So a lot of the contract cleaner love those. And they last forever, but some of the customers today are looking for something that's going to be good for a year or 2 years. An upright is good for 500 hour. A Targa vacuum will be good for 17 to 2300 hour. And a DB3, if you look after it, you'll get the motor. And this unit is as strong and as durable as what we see in the Targa 330 series. So nice, convenient tool. That DB330, 75% recycled material. Onboard tools. Again, that's from our dry platforms. Then we move into humid, wet stripping and our Targa 990. The Targa 990 is really a wet vacuum. Yellow cord for safety, naturally. 50-foot cord. If you don't wrap it properly, it eventually becomes harder and harder, and you're twisting the electrical wires in it. And some people say my vacuum cord looks like spaghetti. That's really caused from not rolling it properly. Bending guard. So it's built inside. On this guy here, that cord is a Dustbane cord. That is an original cord. You cannot go and buy a cord and splice it in there. That bending guard is melted, molded inside the cord system that we have specifically made for us. And that is something that you won't be able to pull out of it because everybody pulls on their vacuum. So Tri-X material, right? So what is Tri-X material? It's that guy that you can't really destroy. It's designed for longevity, for abuse. And then you've got your float system here that is in the middle, but I'm just wanting to show you that will really cut your, right here, that will cut your vacuum. Mirror image, screws, you take them off and you're able to replace the motor within minutes. So again, accessibility, ease of service. You know how many years you get out of 1,750 hours of runtime? 4 or 5 years, 6, 7 years before having to replace that motor. It is a universal motor. This is a wet filter. This is a dry filter. You're picking up wet solution, slush, water damage, spillage, anything that's humid. This is the filter. Anything that's dry, this is the filter. They're interchangeable. The bag ring. The bag ring is a critical for the longevity of the vacuum. That bag ring needs to come out when you're cleaning this. And I always recommend to use paper bag inside the tank. This here allows the airflow to come through, reduces the heat, increases the airflow, increases the filtering from the filter. Okay, so it's a cleaner thing. It self-cleans itself as it's moving inside, but that rings allows it to move, but also allows it to remain open and clean. So, and then, I always recommend to people, make the investment, put a paper bag in it. You know why? Because when you're removing it, you're not dumping dust on yourself. The paper bag is an investment for the longevity of the vacuum and the cleanness of the air. We call it the clean air filter. Why? Because as you're picking up soil, bacteria, the enveloped virus, they're being captured inside the vacuum and not going airborne after. And then we have a HEPA-like vacuum cartridge that would go over it. So I've now got it back in dry setting because I put a dry filter in it. I'm gonna hospital plug. Again, you can't really damage these, right? They're molded. I'm gonna plug this in. I'm taking a lot of risk here today. Our nice and this is what we call the universal tool. This was designed in the early 70s. It was designed for made in Canada. Oh, look at that, made in Canada. Adjustable for carpet surface. Carpet surface? No, this is a squeegee. No, carpet surface or hard floor surface. So it's universal, so hard or soft, a great tool. And then this will outperform any of the tools out there in the carpet tool, in the flip flops. But it is a unique system. So let's turn it on. Well, I'm on the carpet. And then I can go on the floor area and remove soil, dust. If I'm going into a wet application, I need to flip the filter. So a 990, 5-gallon universal tool. That's number 3, toolkit number 3. Just move this over here. Unplug this. So to me, vacuuming is something that's also changing. We're seeing a lot more uprights in the marketplace. Backpacks, mostly popular in the US. The backpacks, there's been some issues with, back. People complain about weight. It's really how they've been marketed in certain areas, in certain marketplace. 330, DB3 are dry, and that's to me in the retail, hospitality, small businesses. That 330, sorry, that DB3 stands on itself. For the user, it's very light. It's got the same cleaning performance curve as a 330. People view them as one's very light and inexpensive. It's not as expensive, but it's got that performance curve that I really like. And what I like about it is that footprint. Amazing, 75% of it from bottle. Crushed bottle, resin, the one that we use for 4 liters, 5 liters, the drinking bottles. We're starting to reuse the plastic, and that's important for the sustainability and for the planet. We've got programs where we're planting trees when you're buying Eco Logo hard floor surface, but we also have other plans at Dustbane moving forward for sustainability. So that's one of the things that will make us different from the competitors. So I'm very excited about it. The other thing is the airbag, right? The clean airbag. If you ever demonstrate this, and people that smokers, and when we used to do Dustbane training, there's used to be a lot more smokers, less now, but they would take this cloth here, and I would say, okay, just put it on in front of your mouth, blow on it, and it would come out yellow. So that filtering device for pollen, for smoke, for any types of contaminate, really picks up the fine dust. 0.03 micron, 90. That would be at 97.9 probably as a product performance. The other thing we still have in our offering is the 12-gallon uncaster. Really same head, just larger tank. So 5-gallon, and then we've got our 12-liter here. So you see the difference in sizing. And then I'm going to bring in the 18-liter tilt and pour with the front mounted squeegee. So that guy you can use with your standard universal tool. All right. Or you can mount the front mounted squeegee on it. And that's really for wet pickup, naturally. It is the same squeegee as you would get on an auto scrubber, right? The original auto scrubber squeegee system was a straight squeegee like this. So it's really mounted on a bracket. The hose is connected where your standard hose would be. You put it back on your bracket. And a lot of school boards are buying these. I've seen even tennis court people buy these to do the tennis court, to pick up that dust. So they're using the squeegee. Arenas, anywhere where there's a potential flood. And a lot of people are using these front mounted squeegee system to pick up stripping solution, right? Or if you've got your Sobeys IGA Metro, you take the squeegee down and on the curb and pick up these residue, from the slush, from the water coming in, slip and fall again. Same performance curve as you've got on your other Targa. You go in the back here, and again, for how user-friendly this is, and this has a big advantage to be able to dump it, remove your head. Got a wet filter in it, right? Wet filter, black wet filter. And I will be able to go in any washroom in the toilet and just flip this right into the toilet. Understanding that, oh my God, this is heavy, Mark. No, this got a pivot point where you just lift it and it tips itself into the dumping area. The handle is, designed for it, and the pivot points on these are unique. Again, big, very popular with property management, contract cleaners, school boards, and any area where there's large surface of water. I mean, all your IGAs, Metro, Sobeys, they need one of those to pick up the slush in the lobbies or where the traction's coming. They need it in the back. And if there's, something spilled and they don't have an auto scrubber, they can use the tilt and pour. One of the things I like about our vacuum and the water lift also is a lot of people do car detailing on them. So they use their Targa 990, 12 liters or 18. They use the upholstery tool, the number 40, the metal one, or even the plastic one. And this becomes a way to extract solution out of a carpet, right? So you put your small tools, and I have probably a version of one here just to give you the idea, but you would put this type of tool on it. And then you just go and it's extracted, right? So you'd be able to, you've got your portable water extraction for car detailing. There's an area where there's a bit of water. You don't have a mini spotter. Your Targa 990, 12 gallon, 18 liters will give you the same types of result. So it is convenient to have a wet and dry vacuum in your buildings, your schools, okay? So, and then what I call, and this comes from the early days of the Power Clean series, and one day we'll go back to the Power Clean. The Power Clean was something we put together with a concept, the PC3. So the PC3 would allow you, for the front mounted squeegee, would allow you with the wand and universal tool. It is a unique, metal spinning type, older cage concept. A lot more parts, moving parts, same type of filtering device, no paper bag. It is our biggest customers are rental place. People that are doing industrial cutting, those cement solid water, so they're using this to pick it up. Our PC3 used to have a 2 horsepower motor, then it went to a 1.5 horsepower motor. Today, the PC3 and the 18XL and the 990 and the 330 all have a universal motor that gives you over 100 inch of water lift and a great performance curve without consuming a lot of energy saving, another green attribute, and a noise reduction. So pretty amazing when it comes to that type of stuff. So we're gonna move into polishers. Well, I'm gonna make sure that so we're back. So, polisher again. I'm surprised to see a polisher market changing. Why? Because a lot of people are going into auto scrubbers. They're going into clean and shine. They're going into diamond pad. They're going into cyclone pad. And they're using that on their auto scrubber because they can clean, restore their floor, and enhance gloss. This guy, the dual speed, was a machine, 2-speed machine, 300 RPM, 185 RPM at low, spray buffing. You got your crossling and your spray buffing, and that machine is being moved sideways, all the time. A lot of labor intensive solution, where today they use an auto scrubber. So less polisher being purchased, less polisher being sold because the demand is changing. The demand is shrinking. But we have a 19-inch, what we call our TX, meaning that great feature, unique to us, and removable handle. So by removing the clip here, I can remove the handle, make it 2-piece, and then put it in my Chevette. If there's such an animal left. I drive a Chevette. So 19-inch, dual speed, the workhorse in the industry, but a shrinking market because the auto scrubbers and the different floor pad are slowly replacing them because they're going to be more productive. Because think about swinging this machine to do carpet care, to do stripping solution. I mean, people today don't strip their floor as often as they do. So there's still a demand. So school boards, certain contract cleaners, that is still active. But as these new machines are coming into place, but that is a Canadian market. In the US, they don't do dual speed. In Europe, they don't do polishers. It's not in their DNAs. This was really something we created for our own use back in the 60s. The 2000 RPM really, this guy you're swinging back and forth. The 2000 RPM is direct drive, so there's no belt. It gives you that gloss with hair pad, different blends. Right now, I have a clean and bright, clean and shine that's going to give you that improvement. I'm going to run it. I'm just going to take gloss reading just for fun. A little gloss meter, right? So this floor looks okay. To my eyes, it's not shiny, but most people say, hey, you got a clean floor. So reflection for anybody that understands it, I'm at 60 here. So I'm protecting my investment. I ran the Labrador Orbital. I'm at 17. So I was able to, a couple of passes, go from 60 to 17. With another pass, I'm ready to apply finish. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to do a webinar where I'm going to do Orbital and apply Grand Prix. And I'll do this room within 20 minutes. I'm going to send that invitation. I expect to see you guys there. So here's my 17. I'm so excited about this that I didn't practice. So here's my 2000 RPM. I don't know if you can guys see it, but I can see this is that new pad that we have. Rachel, it's like cutting the grass back and forth. the right pad pressure, 2000 RPM, the nice lever, the TX system. Going back with my gloss meter. I was about here, right? I'm not cheating. 50. 50 reflection. So I went from 60 to 17 to 50. Oops. Yeah. Incredible. So that is what people are doing to prolong the life of their finish. I'm doing this dry. This pad is accessible. It's not available from Dustbane. It will clean, remove, and then build up your shine. The more often you run it with a 2000 RPM, it's going to happen instantly. You do it with one of the Labrador or the 450 or the 400. It will prolong, clean, and increase loss.